Hello and welcome back to my channel. Now today we have a video update on my problem child, that is the E46. Now a year ago I did a video literally saying everything that's gone wrong with the car and all the nightmares I've had since owning it. Now a bit of background is I bought this car when prices were sky high, so I paid a lot of money for what it is. Okay, so I'm basically stuck with it now with the amount of money I've put into it. It's not going anywhere and I'm okay with that because I absolutely love it when it's working. But I have the feeling it's going to be one of those cars that always has something going wrong. So little bit of background first, it is a 330 Ci. It has 160,000 miles, but I think it's on closer to 170 now. When I bought it, it was 160, and it's an automatic, which again is a bit controversial. Now, last time in the video, I wasn't able to take it for a drive as there were so many problems, it wasn't MOT'd. Now it is MOT'd, and I want to take you guys on a drive today and show you how much I actually love this car when it's working. When it's working, you guys don't see me when something goes wrong, I'm like, not again! Like today, I literally opened the boot, shut it, and it wouldn't lock, and I was like, great, yeah! So that's just a glimpse into what happens with this car. But I am going to highlight to you why I like the automatic so much and why I got the automatic, because a lot of people are like, why wouldn't you get a manual? You probably wouldn't have so many problems. But I'm going to prove you wrong today and give you the reasoning when we go for a drive. So I'll show you around it now. There's a few bits that I've fixed on it, a few bits that still look not that great, but let's go and have a look. Spec-wise, and one of the reasons why this car was such an impulse buy is because I literally couldn't find any black on black in this car, and that is exactly what I wanted. I just think they look amazing. I'm going to go as far and say I think this is actually one of the best looking convertibles of its time. Let me know in the comments, what do you think competes with this? Because the Audis and the Mercedes of this time just weren't as cool looking. And I think, again, a lot of people ask me what the age is of this car. Now it's a 53 plate, so it's 2003. I think it looks a lot newer than that. Now, part of the reason for that is because I went for the updated with the Ministry of Sound lights, as I call them. Now I've said that, if you don't already think it, you won't unsee it now. But I needed these lights when I was looking for the spec of the car, and I also needed xenons because it just makes the car look so much more modern, and also I just love the look of it. Now a lot of people say they really don't like this brake light here, and to be honest I didn't actually notice it, but now they've said it I'm like, that is a bit random. It would look so much more streamlined without it. Now since last year I told you there was some paintwork issues. We did get the paintwork done, but it started bubbling again right here, which is really annoying. And let me know in the comments, why does this keep happening to this specific area? Because the paintwork is actually pretty good. The front bumper definitely needs respraying, but overall it's in pretty good condition. But I don't know why this paint here just keeps bubbling, which is slightly annoying. So I'm just not going to do anything about that, because at the end of the day, this car, I'm not fussed on it looking immaculate. This car's been used, it's been loved, and it's had pretty much the same owner all its life. So those 166,000 miles mainly were motorway miles, and it had a bunch of service history. But it does go to show that this person was obviously, this car was at its end of its life, so he was like, you know what, I'm going to get rid of it. And he spent a lot of money on it. However, I still had a lot of issues with it. So guys, service history is obviously important, but it's not everything, because you're still going to have issues. And I would definitely say I should have brought my mechanic with me. My friend who's a mechanic, I definitely am not going to do that again and buy a car, because it's so low you can't see underneath it properly. So when you're buying these, if you're not into the mechanics of the car and understand it, definitely bring someone that knows, because if you get one of these that isn't right, you're going to know it, as I did.
Let's talk about performance. So it's a 3-litre naturally aspirated straight six with 227 brake horsepower and 300 newton meters of torque.
While we're on performance and features, let's talk about today's video sponsor, Vixa from the AA. This app and plug-in device connects you to your car and monitors it in real time. A game changer for helping keep your car in top shape and helping to keep your day stress-free.
Vixa gives you proactive alerts so you can catch small issues before they become major problems.
And repairs, Vixar simplifies it. Get easy explanations, book an AA approved garage or schedule a mechanic to come to you. Hassle-free solutions, absolutely. Plus it sends handy reminders for your MOT and service dates. Worried about costs? Vixar gives you upfront price estimates for repairs and services so you get no nasty surprises. Head to Vixar through the link in my bio and use code AMELIAAUTOMOTIVE at checkout to get 1 month free trial. I think the front of this car, the look of it, it just looks so mean. Now, quite a few people have said to me, why haven't you changed the grille so it's the black? Now, for me, I did this on my daily, which is a 335D, because I think it suited it. On this, I don't think it suits it. I think it makes it look cheap, and because it's an older car, I just think it works quite well with the wheels as well. Now, we have got some problems, okay? So we've had all 4 new tyres all round. We had an issue which could have ended up quite badly. So we didn't realise we had a slow puncture, and basically the tyre exploded, which I'll input now, and it was quite nasty. Now, we took it to a tyre shop and they said the alloy is absolutely fine. However, I have noticed that the tyre is going down a little bit faster than the others, which is slightly concerning to me, and I don't want that to happen again. So I'm going to be taken back to a tyre shop, and if there is a problem with the alloy, I'll have to get a new alloy, which will be fun, yay! Now, another thing is, these have gone quite sort of yellow, as they would do with the age. Now, I'm going to try and get these restored by someone, try it myself first, and then see if someone else can do it better. Now, annoyingly, just to note, is that these are about £500 for the light unit. Now, with some cars, if there's something goes wrong with the unit, you can sort of undo them and get into them if you need to fix it. Now these, they're pretty solid and they're really hard to do. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. If I wanted to replace these, I couldn't just replace a part of them, I'd have to replace the whole thing, which you probably already know, but if you don't, then there you go. Now, we have got a bit of a knocking coming from the front, which is slightly embarrassing when I'm in car parks and it sort of echoes. I'm just like, great. So when I'm driving along, it's only when it heats up, weirdly, it's on this side and it's sort of like a knocking sound, which is quite loud. So that's going in. So basically this car is due to go in quite soon to be looked at. It's got an MOT due in January. Hopefully it passes with no issues once I've fixed. There's definitely something wrong here and I need to get that fixed, along with the tyre. So I don't know if it's connected to when it happened, but I don't know. So yes, that is something on my list, but it's freezing cold. I'm not going to be putting the roof down today because in the last video it was summer and I showed you how the roof came down and I was like, yay, it works and it looks amazing. So I'll input it now. It looks fabulous with the roof down. It all works. The roof is amazing and one of the only things, touch wood, that actually work on this car properly. And without that, I'd be quite upset. So it's very cold, let's go for a drive and I'll show you how it drives and how much I love it when it's working, or semi-working, as it's never fully been working since I've owned it. Let's talk about why I went for an automatic first. So, at the time I had the GTI TCR, attainable dream car, and I loved that thing, but it was costing me a fortune every month, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy something that I can run to the ground and just use for a few years and maybe get something else. Now that shortly changed because my other half at the time had a company car, so I didn't need a new car. We could borrow his car for longer journeys. He moved jobs, so we ended up having to get the 335D, which is why we've got 3 litre 3 series. The reason I went for the automatic is purely because it was going to be my daily and I didn't want a manual daily. So I've got a Land Rover which is manual and I've got a Mark II Golf GTI which is manual, so I get my fair fix in a manual. Now for me, when I test drove this, I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. Now I didn't look at this car because it's the 330. I was looking at it from the angle as it's not an M3. Obviously I love an M3. I wasn't going to spend the money on an M3. But when I got in it, I loved how wafty it was. Now for me, this almost feels like a Grand Tourer. It's with it being an automatic, big sort of throaty 3 litre engine, which I absolutely love. Now, we do have drive mode and we also have sport mode. Okay, I never went into this car looking at it as a fast car. I went into this car looking at it as it's a nice throaty 3 litre that I'm going to waft around in, and that is exactly what I do. With it being a convertible as well, I just wanted something I could relax in. I'm not looking for performance in this car. It's not fast, but I wanted something that would sound nice and I'd feel like it was just a nice car to be in, and it's exactly what it is. I absolutely love driving this thing. Even in the winter, it just feels so, for the age of it inside and the mileage, it just is such good condition inside. It's such a nice place to be. And I really, when I'm driving this thing, I'm so happy. I much prefer driving it to the 335D every day, because it's the 335D, obviously long journeys, just because it's newer and it's bigger, but there's something about this, it's got a charm, and maybe it's all the trauma I've had with it being wrong, and I'm sort of bonded to it now, and I wouldn't get rid of it because I love it so much, because all the things that are wrong with it, every time I get in it, I'm like, this is why I've got you, and this is why I like this car so much. There's just something about an E46. It was my dream car for a long time, an M3 E46. One of them anyway. We've all got loads of dream cars, haven't we? I couldn't list them all. I grew up with my dad, who had E46s, and he had a yellow M3, and he then had a red M3 46, and he also had two 330s, which were all company cars at the time. And he had a 330 Ci, which I think he had a 325 as well. So very into E46 cars, if you hadn't noticed. And there was a 330 that was horrible. It was silver with like a grey interior, and it was the worst looking E46 I've ever seen. No offence if that's what you've got, but I think he had blue with the sort of cream as well. I really, yeah, he had a few different ones, and I think my love for them just grew. Anytime I'd see them on the road, I'd be like, they're the Ministry of Sound lights. I love it. I love them so much. And I really wanted one, so I did it. And absolutely, I jumped into it. I should have shopped around, to be honest, and I jumped into the car because I liked this actual car so much, and I didn't think I would be able to find the spec, and also I wanted to get rid of the TCR before another payment came out, so I just was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I did it, and it wasn't the best decision, because when I was test driving it, I said to the person that was selling it, I said, I feel like it doesn't drive straight, and they were like, it's fine. It's like, it doesn't feel like it drives straight. And everyone was like, oh, it's probably fine. Little did I know, I'm just going to say, you should always trust your gut with cars, and I should have trusted my gut. But if I hadn't, I might not have gotten E46, so I don't know, is the answer. I bought the wrong car, and it happens. And if it's happened to you, let me know in the comments, because I know it does happen to a lot of people. Some people have said, I've had an E46 for years and I haven't had any issues, and that's fabulous. I'm so happy for you. Like, genuinely, that's great. That's like the dreamy. But I'm just thinking now, I've fixed a lot of it. So bought it for £3.5 grand, and I think I've probably spent £2.5 on it all in, which is a lot of money. And I think to myself, why did I do that? But at the end of the day, I own the car. I'm going to keep it for a long time. Yes, it's high mileage, and the high mileage thing also always stressed me out, and that was part of the thing. I was like, I don't think I want one that's this high mileage, and everyone was like, it's okay, you can get a high mileage one. They go on forever. Maybe they do. And just try and limp on. Maybe they don't go as well as they should, but I'm hoping. So it's at 167,000 miles, which is a lot. Actually, it's quite a lot, isn't it? And I don't know what we're going to do, because I've obviously spent all this money on it, and I don't drive it that much. I mean, I maximum would do sort of 5,000 miles on it a year. I don't know. I won't ever drive it that much, but I don't know what will happen, because the actual body of the car and the interior is so nice that maybe when it comes to it, if the engine blows up, I just put a new engine in it. So basically, my answer is, no one even asked me a question, but I'm just saying I'm going to be keeping this car for a while. I don't want to modify this car. However, one thing I did want is a louder exhaust. Now, I fixed this with my other half on accident because I was following him. He was driving this and I was in the 325, and I was like, wait a minute, half the exhaust isn't open, and it hasn't opened the whole time. And we realised that it was completely shut. So it should open at some point when you're driving, and it was completely shut. So I'll put the video in here now. I realised the valve is shut and we've just opened it for the first time. Oh my god. So basically got it open, and it's now fully open, and the amount of smoke that came off it, I was like, oh my gosh, but it sounds amazing, and it sounds exactly how I would have wanted it to sound if I got an exhaust. So to be honest, I feel like I've just got a free exhaust upgrade, so I'm quite chuffed with that. I'm going to take that. So there we have it, my yearly update on my E46, which isn't as much as a problem child as it was before. At least it's on the road, but I will keep you updated if it doesn't pass its MOT in January. I'm hoping it will, but I will, like I said, I'll give you a 6-month update. In 6 months, when it's a bit warmer, we'll put the roof down, we'll go for a nice drive. And yeah, let me know in the comments, do you have an E46? Do you have a car that you spent so much money on that you can't now get rid of? Or do you think I'm absolutely mad for keeping it and think I should just get rid of it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to like, comment and subscribe and all that shebang. Bye.